Yeah, so welcome back to my new video. This video, I'm going to talk about how we can consume secret and configuration information in our Kubernetes clusters. So if you look at the screen, we have a secret definition that has username and password configuration. So as you know, secret is for confidential data. And then the config map is for non-sensitive data. Okay, so that data is what we're calling a DB host, and the value is my SQL service. Okay, so if you look at the left side, you see the configuration is what? Deployment. And then we have the metadata, the spec. And if you come to the spec with the container side, you have the name of the container as my app with the image busybox 1.2.26, and then a command. What this command is doing is to execute a shell command to print this my SQL user, my SQL password, as well as my SQL server environment variables. So they are declared as environment variables. So if you look at the other option, ENV, and then under ENV is a list. So it's a list of information. And the first item in the list is what? My SQL user. And it's coming from a value. We are pulling the value from secret key ref. And under the secret key ref, we have name and key. And the name of the secret we are consuming from is what? My app secret. So as you can see with the arrow, it's pointing to the name of the secret, my app secret. And then the key is referencing a username. So once it references the key, it will replace the key with a value. So we are trying to reference the username, but we are retrieving the value from the username. And also the second item in the list is my SQL password. The same configuration is pointing to my app secret. And this is referencing the key, which is the password, and it's going to retrieve the password. Okay. And then the third item in the list is my SQL server. And it says what? Value from. And then the next item is what? Config map key ref. So this one, because the host or my SQL server is non-sensitive, we are referencing the config map. Okay, so the name of the config map is my app config. So as you can see, the arrow is pointing to the name, my app-config. And then the key we want to reference is DB host. And once we reference the key, it's going to pull in the value, which is my SQL-service. So once we dump all this information as environment variable inside our pod, our busybox image can then use this information. So assuming it's my SQL running inside our cluster, that SQL running will use this username and password and DB host for the connection. Okay, it's going to be used as the connection string. But in our case, we are just printing this environment variable. In other case, we'll use this information to connect to our database. So let me switch back to the IDE. So as you can see, I'm in the IntelliJ IDE. Okay, and as you can see, the configuration for ConfigMap, the same name, and then the DB host, I change it to this information. And then the secret configuration, notice that I put 3 hyphen here, meaning that you can put different configurations in one YAML file. All you need to do is to separate them by 3 hyphens. And then you see the kind is secret and the type is opaque, and then the data part has username and password. Okay. And then the deployment part, same as the previous screen. But this time we are using the MySQL image. And then as you can see, we are just printing the environment variable using the print env. Okay. And then the environment is, you see, we have MySQL user, MySQL password, as well as MySQL server. So assuming we want to add a new environment variable, we'll just call it name, and then we call it, let's say, my SQL, let's say host. And then once you do that, we will say value from, and then the value from will use, let's say, secret key ref, and then the key is, let's say, my app. I'm going to say my app. I'm going to say my app secret. My app secret. And then the key is what? Password. Okay. It's just an example how you can create it. That's what I'm just trying to demonstrate to you. But we don't actually need it. So I'm just going to take it out. So if I expand this, you see this is for the user and it's coming from the secret. And then the second one is the password and it's also coming from the secret key ref. And then the last one is coming from a config map, okay, with the key as DB host. Okay, so that is all. So let's run this and see what we get. So I'm going to switch to the terminal so we can run this YAML file, config as env.yaml file. Okay, so I'm in my terminal. So let me check my Kubernetes node. Okay, so I need to connect this AZ AKS get credentials. There's something not found. Yeah, so I think I actually changed the cluster name and then the resource group. So it's supposed to be meetup test and then AKS test. Okay, so I think that was the problem. So yes. Okay, so now I can check get notes. Okay, so I have one Kubernetes node running and it's ready. Okay, so let me clear the screen. So I'm going to apply kubectl. Okay, let's cut config as env and see what you get. So as you can see, it's the same information, nothing has changed. Okay, nothing has changed here, the same configuration. So I'm going to say kubectl ctl apply -f config as env, and I run that. So as you can see, 3 resources was created: the config map, and then the secret, and then the deployment. Okay, so if we check kubectl gets all, you see, this one is the pod, the deployment, and then the replica set. So let's see if we can get deployment. Okay, so the deployment is my app. Okay. Because we are running a command line command, we have this thing completed, but we are going to check what we have. So let's see if we have some port, get ports. Okay, so the process completed. What else can we check? Okay, so let's describe this deployment. Describe deployment my -app. So this is the description of the deployment. You can see the my SQL user, my SQL password, and then the server. So I'm going to say kubectl get secret, the name of the secret. Okay, let's get secret. So the secret is what? My app secret. So let's describe it. kubectl describe secret, and then it's my app -secret. Okay, so we have the username and then the password. Okay, so we can also say kubectl get secret. The name of the secret is my app -secret. And then we want to output it as what? A YAML. So as you can see, we have the username and password here. Yeah, so let's get kubectl get ports. Okay, I think there's a crash loop. But let's check the logs. Check the logs. So we can have kubectl logs. Okay, so you can see this is our host, DB host. This is our password that was decoded back. And then this is the username that was also decoded. So we can go back to the IntelliJ IDE, and then we do some changes. So instead of my SQL, we can make it busy box. Okay. We can change it to busy box. Okay. All right. So that is all we need to change. So I'm going to switch back to my terminal. And then we're going to delete this deployment, kubectl get deployment. Okay, we can say kubectl delete deployment my -app. Okay, so we are going to create so I think the secret will remain get secret. You can see the secret, and then the configuration will remain there. So we are going to reapply this kubectl apply config as ENV. You see, the secret was unchanged, and then the config map was unchanged, but we created a new deployment because we changed the image from MySQL to BusyBox. Okay, so let's say kubectl get all. Okay, so let's check the port. Kubectl get port. Okay, kubectl logs. Okay, so we are getting the same information back. So let's also delete this port and see kubectl delete port. Okay, deleted. Another one got created, but it crashed. But don't worry about that. We are interested in the logs. Kubectl get kubectl logs, sorry. And then we run that. Yeah, so as you can see, we got the same results back. Okay, so in the future, I'll be doing a video on how we can actually use the MySQL server running inside our Kubernetes, and then we use the environment variable information to log in. Okay, so this is just a demo for you to see how you can use the secret and then the config maps inside your deployment. Okay, so yeah, I think that is all for this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and share the video. I'll see you in the next one.